Study shows LGBTQ plus investors have less confidence about retirement than straight, cisgender peers. A recent retirement confidence study by the Employee Benefit Research Institute shows that Americans who identify as LGBTQ plus are less likely to have higher assets and more likely to be in debt than their cisgender straight counterparts. More than half of non-LGBTQ investors who earned $75,000 or more had $250,000 held in savings and investments, excluding their primary residence and defined benefit plan assets, compared with 39% of LGBTQ workers. Comparatively, 2/3 of LGBTQ workers who earned less than $35,000 had less than $1,000 in savings and investments, compared with 54% of their straight counterparts earning the same amount.
This story makes me, frustrated as the certified financial planner at the table.
Right.
Our community does not speak about this enough, about planning for the future, investing in ourselves. But, and again, it comes from a lot of communities of color, women who have traditionally not been marketed to and spoken to from the investment community, from the banking world. So this is definitely a focus. I know myself personally, of talking to friends and colleagues about ways we can engage our community and talking about, creating financial freedom.
I think there was a small poll that they took of people.
Correct.
And also in the article, it talked about the people that they did do the polling with were older. And when you looked at it, it was mostly because of health concerns. And if we're looking at an older population of LGBT, especially in the male, I know personally that when I was told I wasn't going to live more than 10 days, I sold my life insurance policy. I bought a Mercedes because what the hell, I'm going to be dead in a couple of months. And I think we're seeing this. I don't know that this is truly a reflection of where all LGBT stands or what the future looks like. I think there's a skew in this because of that health issue.
Many of my LGBTQ counterparts work in nonprofit and work in social services, and I'm part of that 2/3 of people. Every dollar counts. Cost of living is high, food is high, gas is high. So trying to plan for the future when my present is literally hanging on by each dollar is really challenging. And I think that with this is that there are a lot of times you can contribute to your retirement, but you might have to pull that money right on out.
Now, let me ask you, Christopher, how old are you with that, if you don't mind?
I'm 35.
Okay, so you're up there. Okay, you're not up there,
Well, no.
but I thought you could say a lot younger,
but
and I would say, okay, you're just starting out, so you got to give yourself some time to get to that place, and a lot of your peers that are in these nonprofits are in many cases younger. And so
I've been in nonprofit since I was 21, but even still, even in that time, I was putting pennies in, and then I have a life event that occurred, and then boom, I need to use it.
Right.
Yeah, this issue is not uncommon to a lot of people across America. What I think the main issue, though, is that it is not a focus of our community as much. And I think that there needs to be more conversation around planning and discussing, strategies that LGBT speak to our community, because you look at the commercials on TV and it's an older white straight couple in the Fidelity commercial, and it's not a lesbian couple or a trans female. It's not marketed to us.
Too. You said
and
couple.
it's couples a lot of times.
So a lot of us are single like me.
But you and your husband have a child. Do you think that in your scenario and others that have kids may look at it more seriously because there's a dependent that's relying on them, that you've got to put away money for school and less, I'm less frugal because it's just me?
I would say, I manage a lot of clients who don't have children as well. And and planning for your future and for healthcare and for everything else is just as important as someone that has kids who doesn't. Yes, the leaving of assets to children might be a concern, but it's really planning for the future expenses and being able to retire and have healthcare when you're older.
Right.
Those are the challenges.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire